Last Halloween I found a ritual in a book, and now I'm friends with an old witch's spirit. Halloween's getting closer, and so themed stories are getting out. You might think this one of many, always the usual stuff with a not that creepy surprise at the end. Well, you're wrong. We all know Halloween's night has a particular feeling to it. The air has an eerie quality to it, even if you're not celebrating anything. It's weird, and I'm sure many will have already thought of this. It's no mystery what Halloween is linked to, and what comes on the 1st of November. I actually love those days. I really do, but I rarely had the chance to do much. Only once, when I was a kid, I went trick-or-treating around a huge city street that was closed off for the occasion. Now I'm past this age where this kind of stuff is still appropriate and feel way too embarrassed to go to clubs and places filled with minors. At least it's how it works in my country. That's just awkward. So last year I thought I should do something exciting, something I never dared to try and shouldn't have. A ritual. They're so popular nowadays, and I won't hide the fact that I was inspired by those YouTube videos, where they supposedly summon creepypasta characters. Now, aside from their credibility, they made me remember there was a book in my house, old and dusty, placed in a bookshelf, with a huge glass candle on top of it. It was without a title on the cover and made of leather. It was heavy, the pages were full of yellowy spots and the pages were crinkly and frail. I'm sure it shouldn't have been in my house, and when I tried to ask where it came from, all I got was, I don't know. Probably it was your grandfather's who found it. I think he might have saved it from a water flute many years ago. He died before I was even born, and so my grandma. So it was impossible to acquire some more information. I didn't think much about it after the conversation. I just read it. The title was something that could be translated as Witches and Their Wicked Practices. I would say there are quite a few problems with this title. But hey, judged by how it was printed, it had to be some of the first things ever done. I would guess it can be dated back to 15th or the 16th centuries. It had some beautiful drawings in capital letters and the side of the pages. I don't know if those were printed as well. Aside from all the religious chatter with a rather imperative tone, in one of the pages I came across some notes written by hand in black ink. The chapter was talking about rituals, spirit summoning and stuff like that. Please note, I had to translate it all because it was Latin. Lucky for me, I studied in high school and still had a dictionary, but I couldn't possibly translate everything that was in it. When I was finished, I discovered them to be instructions. Just what I was searching for. The page in which the note was repeated a few times to not lie under any circumstances. That wouldn't have worked anyway if the person had nothing they wanted to know. The point shouldn't be to fulfill a deep burning desire of knowledge that can't be reached. I thought it could be referring to divine knowledge and powers or stuff like that. That's since it was written in a religious context. I've no desire for such things, so I was fairly calm. When Halloween came, I asked my parents if I could have dinner in my room. I had to come back to their home for a few days. And to be honest, just because I had to try this thing out. Of course it won't work. I'll have some fun with my imagination and that be it. Yeah, I was wrong. So wrong. I set up my desk with dinner and also prepared another seat. The book said to add as many seats as wanted, up to 5. I guess it can work even with more, but I'm not sure. I would recommend it. I then lit up a candle and put it in front of the plate. A normal, white, cheap candle you can buy anywhere. The instructions were specific, only with the color it must have. I then filled a plate with food and the glass aside with water and said, "Dinner's ready." I sat down and started to eat in silence. Well, damn, it's been so long since the last time someone did this. I looked up and saw a faint image of an old woman. She was wearing a short-sleeved dress and her hair was tied up. She looked at me with curiosity and started eating. "It tastes good," she said. "It has been years since I had any kind of food. Care to tell me what this is made from, young man?" I'm sure I was looking back with a frozen expression and my eyebrows up. I seemed stupid, but who wouldn't with the spirit of an old lady having dinner in front of them? I didn't know what to say or what to do. The book didn't mention any human or ghost encounter. "Oh, they're just boiled potatoes. Smashed potatoes with milk and butter, I think. Yeah, that should be it. Never heard of it before. Shouldn't you be, you know? The book said you would have been a horrible creature with some kind of light body or..." That's it. I tried to say it with the most grace I was capable of at that moment, which wasn't much. I thought I'd made a mistake I would regret for the rest of my life. And I wasn't that far off. She began to dissolve away in smoke, and it soon started to morph into a huge, light-emitting creature that was wide enough to fill most of my room. The sight was so bright, I was forced to close my eyes a bit. 3 wheels were surrounded by her body and seemed to be spinning at a high velocity, but strangely enough, there wasn't any heat. I didn't feel hot and my skin didn't catch fire. I was fine. Blown away and froze on the spot. Yes, but not ablaze. Then an eye opened in the middle, a red glowing eye with a vertical pupil staring right back at me. "I thought you would be more comfortable with my human form." The voice had no gender and seemed to come from anywhere. "What is it that you wish to know? Do not tell me you just wanted to have dinner with an old witch. It's not that I'm human. I ended that stuff long ago. Guess I'm a being? Don't you dare call me that. But hey, you know my prices. Well, I don't think anyone offers the same services like mine anymore." It sounded like she was having fun. I imagined she must have been used to talk by herself. I felt so small and insignificant that if I disappeared from existence, I wouldn't have been surprised. She came back to be an old lady. Still shocked? "Don't you die on me, young boy. I only take my price and nothing more. I wouldn't have been able to help you if you passed away." She talked so casually all about this. "We can be friends though." "How did my grandpa get that book?" I asked. Without even thinking, I blurted out the words. She told me all about it, how my grandpa was interested in the occult and practiced witchcraft on his own, how he discussed with Grandma about what to try next, what to expect. He wasn't a bad person and didn't do anything wrong, but one incident. He murdered someone. That's how he got the book. He stole it and committed suicide after that. It was originally acquired by one of his friends. They were close for years and passionate equally about the kind of things. They met, talked, and even wrote a few pages of their own, with their theories. They both wanted to summon a witch, but they started a fight. You can only ask her one thing, and that's it. You'll have to wait another 3 years to try again, unless you're me. Anyway, in a fit of rage, my grandfather accidentally murdered his friends. He was so horrified, and I felt sad for him. Watching it all in front of my eyes, it was the day when the flood hit the city. The body was found some days after, and was considered one of the many casualties of the disaster. She then vanished. My room turned back to normal. No bright lights, no ghost, witches, nothing. Just my plain old room. My half-empty plate. I looked at the time on my watch. It was midnight. Days later, I still had her input on things. She started to comment about what I was doing, and what I should have been doing instead. She was curious and asked me about a lot of things. She explained that she had to have some kind of master to be tied with. She needs a soul she can borrow to support a living and practice. She said that if it wasn't for me, she probably would have died short after. My grandfather's friend was her last owner, and the witch can only survive another 50 years after the departure of the host. Now, I am friends with the old witch's spirit, and I'm bound to her, probably even after I die. I'm still having nightmares about it. She actually encourages me to spread her words, and her services. She mainly gives out knowledge, but can also make predictions of the future and get a look into the past. Her price? The book only said she takes personal attachments. It will be something not expected, something overlooked and almost forgotten in the course of everyday life. It will have a vague equal to the knowledge that you sought. Some say the person will forget entirely about the thing that will be taken. Please note, it can also be a person or a pet. She's not bound to items. She took my parents. I don't remember much about them now. I know they were important, and I know that I overlooked them a lot. I remember we must have spent a lot of time together, but it's all faint, confused and still fading away. I feel a deep sadness that I can't express. Do I despise her? I don't think I do. At least not now. No.